I made a video a few days ago stating that villages were 65 by 25 by 65. And some people misunderstood that. I want to clarify a few things. I'll link the video in the description, the video I'm talking about, and I will put it right up here on the screen. So if you want to, if you haven't checked that out, check it out first. It will cover a lot of the things that I will talk about more in depth here. Um, Other than that, let's just jump into this. I want to say that I'm not trying to talk down to you, but I want to say this anyways in order to prove a point. If I said, please point at the middle block in this group, you would point at the green block, right? Okay, that's what I thought. If I said, please point at the middle of this group of blocks, where would you point? Well, you would probably point at this line right here. Okay, fair enough. If I said point at the middle of this group, where would you point? You would say the green blocks are the center of this. And that's because there isn't a true center block in even number. Okay? With that said, let's get to the point of today's video. I have set up 3 tests. In this test, it is a standard size village, 65 by 65. I stretched a village to be 98 by 65. We'll go into more in that in just a minute. And I stretched a village to be 99 by 65. We'll go more into that also in just a moment. Now, this is the first village, 65 by 65. This is the first village, 65 by 65. There's only a single POI, so we know that it is a standard sized village. Okay. Here we are on the top, and I use bad omen to mark out the boundaries of this village, like I did in the previous video that I mentioned earlier. And when I cut a diagonal across this, I came to a single point here. And out from that, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And that gave me a 17 by 17 square. I ran a command block where it placed a glowstone under everywhere a cat spawned and then killed the cat. Okay? That's going to be a common theme throughout all of these tests. So the village is 65 by 65 as indicated by the spawn area lining up to the center of the village. Now that is a little bit controversial. Some people don't believe that. That's okay. I've got more. Okay, here we are at test number 2. Now, you may notice that this is not a square. That is correct. This platform is 98 blocks that way and 65 blocks this way. What we did to achieve this is we stretched the village. I'm going to show you the signs right here. Original size 65 by 65. Stretch size 98 by 65. You can feel free to count all these blocks. I'm not going to count them on screen. Someone in my comments suggested that I never count blocks again. And after watching some videos with counting in them, I 100% agree with that. So this block right here, just like before, is 32 blocks from the original center. Now I want to show you the original center real quick. This is how this was built. I placed that bed right there with these villagers. So that lines up with this block right here. Now this would have been the original center block, which is what this sign says. Okay. Now here is the new center. It is 49 blocks, counting this block right here, all the way to the end, and the same in that direction. Because it is 98 blocks, we don't have a true center block. Do you remember the 6 blocks that we just discussed? And how in an even number set of blocks, there isn't a true center block? Well, that's what happened here. I stretched the village 33 blocks to get to 98 blocks. 65 plus 33 gets us to the 98 blocks. Now you're like, how do you know you stretched it 33 blocks? Well, that's a very valid question. Here's the original 32 blocks, right? Okay. And here we are at 98. So I want to show something. Here is where the bed is. So from this bed, we have 10, we have 20, we have 30, 40, 50, 60. Now I know I said I wasn't going to count on stream, but I didn't count each block individually. And we have 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. If you take 65 blocks and you subtract 32, you get the 33 blocks that we stretched this village. This is 33 blocks longer than it was before. Does everybody understand that? The only thing we did was add a bed right here and some villagers so that they can see this bed, and this bed counts as a claimed POI. So the difference between this village and that village is these 33 blocks. Does everybody understand that? This platform was determined by bad omen. So if the difference between this platform and that platform is 33 blocks, and there are 98 blocks, let's do some real quick math here on the screen. If the new village is 98 blocks and we added 33 blocks, that means the original village was, that's right, boys and girls, 65 blocks. Now, I don't say that to be condescending. I say it that way so that you can understand. I want to say it as simply as possible. Not that I don't think you're smart. I think everyone that watches my videos is a really incredibly smart, talented, funny, awesome person. I appreciate all the support. But I want to say it in as clear of language as I can so there aren't any misunderstandings. Now, here we are at the last test. It is exactly like test number 2, only it is one additional block. Okay, bringing us to a 65 from side to side and 99 blocks this direction. Once again, I'm not going to count those 99 blocks. You want to count them? Download the map. Right here, 65 by 65 original, 99 by 65 after stretching. Once again, this is 32 blocks from the original center, 49 blocks from the new center. Okay, 49 blocks from here to here. And this is actually the 50th block. And because there are 49 blocks going down that way also. Okay, here's the original center, same as we did last time. I want to show you that we did stretch it one additional block. Once again, there's our bed lined up exactly with that. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have our bed lined up with this block right here. So we actually have 66 blocks. Now, the difference between this and the original village that we showed the very first test is 34 blocks. Let's do some real quick math here. If we have 99 blocks here determined by bad omen, and we stretched it by 34 blocks, that leaves us with how many? That is correct, 65 blocks for the original village. And because this is an odd number village, 99 blocks, When we do our diagonals, when we do our original diagonals, we end up with a diamond pattern. And then from the center of each one of those points of the diamond, I line it up and can mark out the 17 by 17 spawn area, exactly like I did in the first one. So on odd number size villages like the 65 by 65 original size village, I have a true center spawn point. And that is true if I stretch it, and that is true if I don't stretch it. Let's head back over to village number 2 here. And I want to talk about this once more. Now, it is true that I drew the predicted spawn area 1 block too large. Does everybody understand that? Right here on this side right here, I drew it 1 block too large. So this is actually 18 by 18. But if you watched my last iron farm video, you know what to do with an 18 by 18 platform. You add 1 block to the north, 1 block to the west, and you build yourself an iron farm. Okay? In an even number stretched village, I cannot pinpoint it down to a single block. That is true. I can, however, get very, very, very close in predicting it through bad omen. Close enough that you can build an iron farm. For people who say that bad omen can't predict the center of the village, I'm going to call... I clearly did it 3 times. Once with an original size village, once with an even number stretch village, once with an odd number stretch village. And ironically, I proved that villages are 65 by 65 by adding 34 to this one and 33 to this one. That's all I have for today. As always, peace, love, and birch. Be awesome to each other.